Hello, welcome back. In this segment, I will explain my experience of using Cloud to generate Z3 code. So I was curious whether the AI tool can be used to generate theorem provers like Z3 for a particular use case. For example, the use case is take this premise that I have coded here, right? Premises, there are two premises. We don't have to go through the details of the premises, and there is a conclusion. We can easily prove this using Z3. For people who are not familiar with Z3, it would be cool if a tool can generate Z3 Python API, for example, right? That's what I'm going to explore. Let's say ask Claude AI to take the premises I have put in here, right? These are the two premises, and I want it to generate Z3 statements that I can use to prove this theorem. Okay, so I asked this question, and it did generate the Python Z3 code, as you can see here. You have your Boolean variables PQS extracted from my statements, and it created a solver object. It added necessary premises, and it also know the trick we can use with the Z3 theorem prover is that to prove a conclusion, we negate the conclusion, right? This is the conclusion we need to prove, but we negate it. If the negation is not satisfiable, that means it's always false. That means the original theorem must be true because we are trying to say the negation is false. That means the original thing must be true. So that's essentially what it is generated successfully. And I just copy pasted this into my Z3 installation and tried it. And interestingly, I can also ask, how did you generate? What are the steps? So it explained here, right? It explains we import the C3 library, we create the variables, we create a solver object, we convert the premises into the syntax here and add it to the solver and so forth. And then we add the negation of the conclusion. We check for the satisfiability. If the solver returns unsatisfiable negation, right? That means the original premises must hold true and the conclusion must be true. That's essentially what it was doing. And it didn't run the code, so we need to run it locally. And I have asked it to generate even a different version of Python. For example, old version of Python 2.7, it can generate that as well. We can just copy, paste, and run it within our Python installation of Z3. So let me show you my experience of doing that inside Z3. Here's the copy of the code that you saw that was generated by Claude AI. And in this case, the theorem is a valid theorem. That's what Z3 found out. So to summarize, what we have learned is that we used an AI tool called Claude and encoded the premises and the conclusion. So this is the premises and the conclusion. And I asked, can you generate theorem prover code for this, right? Z3 is a theorem prover. So it was able to generate this portion of code that we saw. And this code will help us to prove the theorem. Instead of writing it manually, we were able to generate it using the Claude AI. That's essentially what we learned in this segment. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.